Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Collaborative Connections, a space for sharing and learning, sponsored by the Society for Oncology Massage. My name is Ericka Clinton, and I will be your host today. And on our podcast, we have Davonna Willis, founder of 419 Education and Training. Davonna and her partner, Ashley Urquhart, are sponsoring the first Black Massage Therapist Conference in October. The conference will be held in Charlotte, North Carolina, and is being sponsored by the American Massage Therapy Association, Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals, the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards, and Western North Carolina School of Massage, just to name a few of those sponsors. I want to thank you, Davonna, for taking the time to join us today. I would love for our listeners just to start off by getting to know a little bit about you and finding out about this historic conference that you have created. So, how long have you been a massage therapist?
Sure. So I just want to say hello, everyone. Davonna Willis here. And I've been a massage therapist now that we're talking for about 20 years.
Hey,
So
that's
I've
20
been a
years.
massage therapist for 20 years, literally, as of what we probably graduated in August of 2003.
Okay.
I'm a Swedish Institute in New York.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, my alma mater as well. Yay, Swedish.
Yes.
So, you've been in practice 20 years. I know we had talked and you had been working in sports medicine at Columbia University.
Yes.
But what led you to start your company, 419 Education and Training?
Sure. So after, jumping ahead, after leaving Columbia, working in different other medical facilities, I actually got laid off from maternity leave. No, I actually got laid off while I was on maternity leave when I was working at an orthopedic clinic here in Arizona. They wanted me to come back sooner. And Arizona is a right to work state. And I did not yet hit my 1 year to get FMLA. So I was like, well, I'm not coming back. I just literally had a baby. And God was like, remember your massage degree that you did? Now it's time to do that full time. And I'm like, I do not remember how to do a full body massage. I was like, I was just doing it as another modality. And so I started doing that. I slowly started doing that. That was back in 2012. And that was Blue Skies Massage Clinic. It started off with just me. Then I grew it to a team of 5 people. And I actually had a contract with a cancer treatment center out here providing lymphatic drainage massage. We were in 5 of their locations. And then in 2021, because of COVID, things started dwindling a little bit. And I ended up selling my client list to one of my mentees and sold my business. And I wanted to start teaching more full time. Because one of the things I would hear all the time as I grew the business, right, is like, why no one else do things that you guys do? And it started with leadership, right? Because I was the owner, founder of Blue Skies. And so I wanted a standard of practice of care. So I would train my team as such. So everyone got trained, especially when it came to lymphatic. I had learned it back in 2009 from Marsha Crater from Healing Arts Connection that was here. She's retired now. And but that's actually the lymphatic class I teach is hers because I'm like, people need to learn this. So she licensed me. And so it's a difference, right? So that was, oh, how come I'm just now hearing about you? We were like the final place. So what made us different from the other places, we weren't just doing massages. We were like sitting down, having conversations, trying to find out the causes and how can we really treat you. Also, I incorporated towards the last 3 years of the business, last 3-4 years, is adding that sports medicine aspect. So we were doing corrective therapy, stretch therapy. Look, now you have stretch lab and all these other stretch stuff. We started that back then. and, started incorporating that as a standalone session, right? With the massage. So it was like a integrated health way of doing business. And it was successful. And so my mind is like, I need to start giving back to what I know with all my education and back to people who are actually on the ground. And that's what started 419. And
That's
that started
amazing.
right before COVID, like October 2019, I got incorporated. March of 2020 was my first sports massage class. We didn't know what it was. We had gloves on. Because it was just so new, no one knew what it was. Right before they shut down the world was my
Right.
first sports massage class.
Wow. And you've managed to keep it going, which is also amazing.
By the grace of God, managed to keep it afloat. I was like, that's when in business, because I teach some business strategy classes too, that's when you have to learn how to pivot,
Right.
right? And I'm
Yes.
like, well, if I can't teach hands-on, which I love, I'm not a big online course instructor. I'm a
Mm.
hands-on. I do have 2 online classes, but I flourish with my live classes because I'm about
Wow.
body mechanics. They call me the body mechanics Nazi.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm about the body mechanics. I'm about, making sure you're doing your hand placements correctly. For all those therapists who's been in the business for as long as I have, we get in our own way and we start doing things. We start getting tired and lazy
mm,
times. And so, I like to help correct and like, you're right, or sometimes people buck against me because, well, this is how I've been doing. Well, how's your back been feeling since that thing, right?
right.
How's your thumb doing? Right. So, I'm trying to save you
Mhm.
for aches and pains and such. And then for the newbies, trying to get them before they start learning bad mechanics and doing things incorrectly. So yes, I'm a big in-person instructor. I love live classes.
Wonderful.
Small live classes. I don't teach big ones. I think
Okay.
the biggest I've taught will be like 18 people because I'm so hands-on. I want to make sure people understand what I'm saying and actually grasping, not on the lecture part, but when we start doing the hands-on physical work.
Right. Because that is the work. And I can totally understand now why your tagline is education is power, right?
Mhm.
Is that the more you know, the more opportunities you can give yourself and the longer you can stay in the business. I
Right.
mean, you being a massage therapist 20 years, I've been doing this 25 years. We're kind of like dinosaurs in the business in terms of longevity,
Right.
right? But it's amazing to see people stay in it because they love it and because it's so necessary.
Mhm.
But let's talk a little bit about the conference. What inspired you and Ashley to put together a conference for Black massage therapists?
Sure. So in 2020, with the whole George Floyd and the social unrest, I was still in my practice and I just was feeling unease. And but predominantly my clientele was white. And even though they were gracious and would check on me because it was a lot going on, right? And I have a young son at the time and, processing how to explain to him because he was just like, why do they not like us? Right. So how do you explain to like a 7-year-old at the time, right? Those are the conversations we had to have at home, some heavy conversations, right? And I just felt uneasy. So I wanted to find if there was a community, for me. Were there any other Black massage therapists feeling the same way, working majority on white individuals, clientele, not really incorporated in the Black community. And it was an internal struggle. And it was nothing. I didn't find anything. I was all over Facebook. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I went to my family, I was like, you think I should make one? And like, yeah. I'm like, 'cause I just knew it'd be work. Anytime you make something, it's be work. So like, do I want
Yeah.
to add on to I'm already, 419 is a baby too, right? So it's a new business. And now I want to add something that I don't know what it's going to become. onto this, right?
Mhm.
And so I started the group and I just started seeking out therapists online and inviting them to the group and having questions. And so that was 2020. So now, as of September 7th is today's date, we have over 1,000 people in the group.
Wow.
1,000
That's
Black
amazing.
therapists, as well as students nationally and internationally. Africa, Canada, the Caribbean. And we do ask qualifying questions, right? Just because we have people who want to be nosy and just want to be in the group. Or we
Mhm.
have like people from the Black community, especially during 2020, 2021. They're like, oh my goodness, there's something called Black massage therapist. I want a Black massage therapist. So the self-care aspect has started changing amongst the Black community, looking for Black massage therapists. So, so then I was the conduit at that point. I'm like, okay, we have such and such, they live in this area, who lives in here, here's the information, and I'll introduce them on Facebook Messenger. And I was doing that for like almost like a year, being that conduit. Like, you can't get into the group because we have our own conversations there,
Right.
but
But
I can introduce you via, Messenger. And so in the group, part of the conversations was like, we should get together. We should get together. And I'm like, I sure should. Absolutely get together. And this one guy, it was his idea. I'm like, all right, well, let's meet up. I feel like one of the meetings that he either ghosted me, and then the other one, he just got so he wasn't focused. And I'm like, well, all right, whatever. It was your idea. So I left it alone. Then another guy got on there. I'm like, we should get together. I was like, well, you two should get together and talk about how we should get together. And then let me know. Then I'll see how I can help. Well, he ghosted that other guy. And so lo and behold, I'm very spiritual and God was like, no, that's on you. This is your group. You need to put this thing together. And I'm like, I don't want to. It's extra work.
yeah, this is a
A,
big
co-
one. This is a big one.
a conference, Ericka. So now I drag Ashley. So in 2021, Ashley had MT Banquets, which is a celebratory business to celebrate massage therapists in different forums. And whether you're a continuing education provider, you do community service, it was all different aspects. And I know she'll speak more to it the next time she's on, but I attended and it was a great event and she did a wonderful job. And I said, well, I can't do this by myself. And so she popped up in my head. The Lord was like, ask her. I'm like I knew her, but I didn't know her, right? I met her through her developing MC Banquets. I was a sponsor as well as I attended and I got one of these awards is, up there as a certification of excellence for teaching. And I said, okay, here I have an idea and I just want to know, would you be willing? And I said, I think we should have a Black massage therapist conference. And she was like, just Black? Yep, just Black. And she's like, okay. And I was like, okay. I said, we can do it. We can do it. But it's a hard pill to swallow when you just hear just Black. But that's the sad thing, right? Why does it have to be a hard pill to swallow? It's community. We make
Right.
up about 8% of the whole massage industry,
Right.
not even 10%, right? And so also the discussions that was in the group shows that we need to get together because when you live in major cities that have Black massage therapists like the Carolinas or, Georgia, down south, those are the hot spots. But the rest of us, the rest of the country, we're like 0.0%, 1%, and so forth. It's like one of one, some of the complaints and some of the things, the venting, having difficulty being the only Black student in the school, in the entire school. No one in the administration, right? And so there was things that was coming about that there was difficulties they were having. And there's, or working at a facility, you're the only Black therapist.
Right.
Or, you're going to get a client and then they're looking at you like, and saying out loud, oh, I don't want that therapist. I want the other one, and pointing to the white person next to them. Right. So this is the things that we would go through, but didn't have any place to talk about and vent. And it's not to be, we're not coming together to complain, but we're coming to collaborate, to celebrate each other, to lift each other up, to be a community, to be a family. Right. And
Mhm.
so other communities do it. It's just differently. We're just putting it out here, in the massage industry. But
Yeah.
like New York, coming from New York, we got Little Italy, right? Little Italy, Little Chinatown,
Right.
and we have all sorts of cluster groups. It still doesn't make one better than the other. It's just community. And that's
Right.
all this is. It's community.
Right. And then it's an opportunity for sharing in a way that probably is going to support a lot of people in the profession to know that there are others and that we all have similar issues, but we can also support each other in the work as well as the profession.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And collaboration, right? You can meet somebody, you live in New York, and you can collaborate with someone down in Mississippi that you would have never met. And it would be a great collaboration, right? And
That.
things of that nature. And just opening their mindset to what else is offered in the industry and not just be laser focused and on what you're doing, but there's so much other things to be offered
Right.
and just to educate them. This is the first time a lot of people are seeing Black educators.
Hmm. Which is startling, but what it is. So,
Right.
who are to be some of the speakers and presenters?
Sure. So our keynote speaker, we'll start with keynote is Mr. Patrick Huey. Patrick is a spa director, spa manager at We Care Spa in California. So the only way you can get into that spa is of who you know and a
Oh,
person invite. And celebrity, but he's been in the spa industry for many years. He started off as a receptionist in a spa.
hey, that's great.
Now he's on the board of iSpa, which is the International Spa Association. So he's doing amazing things, and I want people to hear his story. Like they
Hmm.
need to see that is possible, right? Then we also have Benny Vaughn. He's going to be our welcoming address person. So Benny Vaughn has been in the industry for 47 years. He was like the only Black massage therapist a lot of people knew of.
Okay.
And he was the only one. He was always the go-to educator. So,
Okay.
but he's done many things in this industry as well. He's an athletic trainer like myself, and he's been involved in, I believe, at least 5 Olympics in his time doing massage and caring for athletes. And he has a wealth of knowledge.
That's amazing.
So
That's
he'll be
amazing.
there. So, and then we have our instructors. We have Terrence Bonner. Terrence is a massage therapist and an esthetician, and he's an educator. He comes out of Mississippi and he travels as well, teaching classes more on the spa side of things. Like I'm the medical girl, he's the spa guy. So,
Nice.
so he comes from that. So he'll be teaching the Thai foot reflexology class. And then we have Shanice Armstrong. She owns her own spa and wellness center in Georgia, in Atlanta, and she's also an educator. She teaches at a massage school. I think it's Massage School of Atlanta or Atlanta Massage Therapy School. She teaches there as well. Then we have Samuel Nelson. He is one of my instructors, and he's all about business. He's out of Memphis, and he has a national chair massage company. So that he gets contracts such as Google and Cigna and the city of Memphis, and his business has grown tremendously. And sometimes he'll get contracts out of Phoenix. So he'll ask me if I know anybody, and we'll get somebody to do a contract for him. So once you have those big corporate contracts, right, because they have locations everywhere, it just opens up the doors, right? And so he has a lot of knowledge about marketing and business. And then, of course, Ashley, where her MT Banquets, as well as she does have a local massage business, her husband and herself. And yeah, and then we.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this sounds so exciting. So you got this big event that you're having. You brought a lot of people to the table, and hopefully we'll have a lot of attendees. But what what do you see as the future after this initial event? Is this going to be like an annual thing? Would you like it to grow into a multi-day event? I know right now it's focused on one day. There are events surrounding that. But what's your hope for the future of this venture?
So yes and yes. So next year, we're already planning for next year, right? You have to do that, right? So
Right.
you already have to plan for next year, even though the first one didn't happen. So yes, so next year we definitely want it to be annually. As of right now, we're going to stay in Charlotte. And one of the reasons why people are like, why in Charlotte? Majority of Black massage therapists live on the East Coast. That's statistically. So to have it at one place will be easier. And it also gives the people who's across the country to come to a different place if they've never been before. But I feel like it's a beautiful, I don't know if you ever been to Charlotte, but it's a beautiful city. And I enjoy being in Charlotte because everything happens in Atlanta
Right. Right.
to Black community. Everything happens in Atlanta. So
Right.
I want things to happen here in Charlotte. Well, I'm not in Charlotte. I'm in Phoenix. So I'm also traveling people.
Mhm.
So that, but that, and also it's always going to be in October because that's a great time of the year to have a conference. It's not competing with some of the other conferences that we have.
Gotcha.
And last but not least, yes, next year we are looking to do multiple dates, but know when there's multiple dates, that increases the fees.
Yeah.
And we are looking to do a portion to be virtual. So we're still working out how that would go about. The only thing I just want to inform people, when we do go virtual, that doesn't mean that you're going to be in the session when the live session is happening. It's just going to be something separate
Right.
just for you to feel that you've been involved with the conference. So those are some of the plannings that we're currently doing for next year.
Awesome. And of course, that's also kind of what I like to refer to as a COVID opportunity, right? Like we all had to get really good at this whole virtual environment, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever you're using. And that I think has just allowed us to provide education and exposure to more people,
Right.
right? So even though we're back in person, thank goodness, the virtual options really still help you expand your audience, and more
Absolutely.
people to participate, which is great,
Yes. More with those more opportunities, you have to you have to transition, as well as making sure people have the right equipment to do so.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. It's not, yes. There's a
No,
whole lot
it's
of
not
boxes
as
to check
easy. Yeah.
to make sure
Because
it all
even right
goes.
now, we have a software, I had to get a software specifically for events,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
It's just like a whole different software, and it's great, but that software also does virtual. So that helps. So we know at least we can stick and stay with that specific software. We don't have to look for another one. It gives us an app function as well. So people could download the app when they're
Please.
local, when they're there, as well as I think it's open for like a couple of weeks after the event. So people
Uh-huh.
can also message people inside the app. So it's a great thing. But
That's
you
what
have to have the equipment to do such.
exactly. Exactly. But again, the technology will support all of this this great learning. And we wish you a lot of success. As Forum is really happy to promote this event and spread the word about what 419 Education and Training is accomplishing in the massage community. And I really, really do wish you well and hope that this conference goes as well as you would like.
Thank you, Ericka. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Davonna. All right, collaborators, have a great day. And I hope you enjoyed today's podcast.